Welcome back to the epicenter of analysis, the home of the untold truth, and the sanctuary for those who refuse to accept the surface-level narrative. Welcome to Whatever You Need. It is a profound pleasure to have you join us once again as we prepare to dissect a moment that has transcended the boundaries of a simple event and morphed into a sociological case study on fame, perception, and the unforgiving nature of the public eye. Today, we are not merely discussing a headline. We are deconstructing a silence. We are looking at the spaces between the words, the glances that last mere milliseconds but echo for eternity in the digital realm. Before we embark on this journey through the glittering yet treacherous landscape of the red carpet, I must issue a call to action for our loyal community. If you appreciate the depth, the nuance, and the literary quality we bring to celebrity news, please prove it by subscribing to Whatever You Need. Right now. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss a beat. And for those who wish to be the patrons of this art form, the Join button is your gateway to exclusive support. Your likes and comments are the currency of this realm, so please, do not be shy, engage with us. Now, let us turn our attention to the night in question. In the opulent and often dizzying world of celebrity gossip, the most seismic events are rarely triggered by a scream or a scandal of epic proportions. Paradoxically, it is often the absence of sound, the lack of a gesture, or a fleeting, inscrutable look that causes the very foundations of the internet to tremble. Today's topic is precisely one of those ephemeral yet heavy moments, a moment that has sparked a firestorm of debate. Imagine, if you will, an event of immense magnitude, a night where the air was thick with the perfume of luxury and the electricity of anticipation. Cameras, like the unblinking eyes of 1,000 mechanical gods, recorded every microsecond, and the international entertainment press watched with bated breath, hungry for interaction. In this charged atmosphere, two of the industry's titans, Demet Özdemir and Barış Arduç, found themselves occupying the same frame, breathing the same rarefied air. The stage was set for a collision of stars. The public, conditioned by years of red carpet etiquette, expected the customary ritual. A warm, effusive greeting, a genuine smile shared between colleagues, perhaps a few pleasantries captured for the evening news. But what transpired was a subversion of expectation. What was expected did not happen. There was no embrace, no shared laughter, not a single line of audible dialogue captured by the voracious microphones. For the ruthless ecosystem of social media, those few seconds of non-interaction were more volatile than any argument could ever be. The questions erupted instantly, spreading like a contagion across timelines and feeds. Did she ignore him? Did they deliberately avoid greeting each other? Or is there some unknown, subterranean tension lurking behind the scenes? Demet Özdemir's expression, in particular, a fleeting canvas of emotion, quickly became the forensic focus of thousands of comments, hundreds of frame-by-frame video analyses, and countless accusations. On the other side of this equation stood Barış Arduç, whose behavior was equally scrutinized. His decision to wait on the sidelines, ostensibly so as not to interrupt an ongoing interview, was interpreted by some as the ultimate gesture of gentlemanly courtesy, and by others as a deliberate, icy act of maintaining distance. So we must ask the question that hangs over us all: what was the truth? Was this moment truly a planned display of coldness, a choreographed snub? Or was it a completely misinterpreted example of high-level professionalism amidst chaos? And why did Demet Özdemir's subsequent explanation reassure some fans while further fueling the dark suspicions of others? In this extensive video, we will not simply skim the surface. We will recount the events of that night, minute by minute. We will examine the most shocking, polarized comments on social media. We will share the whispered details that are discussed in the hushed tones of gossip columns, but never spoken aloud, and we will explore the context of Demet Özdemir's explanation from every conceivable angle. If you are one of those observant viewers who looked at the footage and said, "There is more to this than meets the eye," or if, on the contrary, you believe, this is being blown entirely out of proportion by boredom, do not skip ahead. Stay with us. Because what we are about to tell you will compel you to view this silence from a completely different perspective. Before we dive deeper, tell us in the comments, do you think social media overanalyzes celebrity body language, or does the camera never lie? We are dying to hear your thoughts. And while you are typing, remember that joining whatever you need via the specific button below the video helps us keep these investigations alive. Let us transport ourselves back to the inception of this digital storm. Demet Özdemir's gaze, Barış Arduç's silence. How did a simple greeting crisis mutate into a social media hurricane? It all began on what was, by all accounts, a very ordinary, even routine, event night. The setting was standard. The blinding glare of camera lights, the jostling of the international press, the presence of representatives from famous global brands, and the endless assembly line of successive interviews on the red carpet. It was the machinery of fame in full operation. But as the night drew to a close, it became apparent that neither the haute couture dresses nor the luxury brands were the topic of conversation. The narrative had shifted entirely. All eyes were fixed on the interplay, or lack thereof, between Demet and Barış. The scene was a study in contrasts. Demet Özdemir, standing at the center of the whirlwind, was answering journalists' questions with her trademark elegance, poise, and professionalism. The intensity of the international press was palpable, a barrage of questions was thrown her way, and the constant, rhythmic flashing of cameras clearly revealed how crowded, chaotic, and difficult to control the atmosphere truly was. It was a sensory overload. Precisely at that moment, keen observers noticed that Barış Arduç had positioned himself a few meters away from where Demet was holding court. In those precarious moments, which were perhaps missed by the main broadcast cameras, but were captured by bystanders and later analyzed frame by frame on social media, it was clear that Barış was standing to the side. He appeared to be deliberately avoiding interrupting the interview, making no grand gestures, simply waiting. However, the real controversy, the spark that lit the fuse, occurred in the split seconds when Demet Özdemir briefly raised her head. Her eyes scanned the periphery and seemed to land, for a fraction of a second, in Barış Arduç's direction. There's something about that look, the internet detectives declared. For the users of social media, who thrive on subtext, those few seconds were enough to build an entire narrative. That look was interpreted not as a casual glance but as cold, distant, and intentionally ignorant. The verdict was swift and harsh. Some commentators confidently asserted, not greeting him was a conscious decision, while others whispered, is there some old, unresolved tension between them that we don't know about? The videos shared on platforms like X, Instagram, and TikTok were subjected to a level of scrutiny usually reserved for crime scenes. They were repeatedly played, paused, zoomed in on pixel by pixel, and slowed down to agonizing speeds. The comments section became a breeding ground for theories, growing exponentially by the hour. That look isn't normal, one user wrote. Something has clearly happened between them, another speculated. Barış Arduç is waiting so politely, looking like a gentleman, and she just ignores him, claimed a third. Demet Özdemir deliberately omitted the greeting to send a message, argued another. The interpretation of the event became a projection of the viewer's own biases. Before long, the topic transcended the actor's immediate behavior on that specific night, and extended its tendrils into the past, excavating old projects and behind-the-scenes gossip. Accusations from years gone by resurfaced, dusted off for a new generation of gossip consumers. It is a known fact that although Demet Özdemir and Barış Arduç have never shared a leading role in a project together, their names have occasionally been mentioned in industry circles for the exact same projects. It was even rumored, in the hushed corridors of production companies, that some producers had once said they could be a compatible on-screen duo. However, it is crucial to note that these rumors were never officially confirmed, they remained in the realm of what if. Nevertheless, the memory of celebrity gossip is long and unforgiving. Old rumors, when combined with current perspectives and a viral video, resurface with the force of fact. Some social media accounts went even further, circulating unsubstantiated claims such as, did they have a disagreement about a project in the past? Were they considered for the same series at some point, but one of them vetoed the other? These questions hung in the air, adding a layer of professional rivalry to the perceived personal slight. Of course, we must emphasize, as responsible narrators here at Whatever You Need, that none of this information regarding past conflicts was verified. It remains the stuff of legend and speculation. Yet, in the court of public opinion, verification is often secondary to a compelling story. The narrative of two stars, a missed greeting, and a secret professional rivalry is far more intoxicating than the likely reality of a crowded room and a missed connection. As we wrap up this deep dive into the psychology of a scandal, it becomes clear that we are often seeing what we want to see. A glance becomes a glare, a wait becomes a snub. But it is this very ambiguity that keeps the wheel of celebrity culture turning. We will continue to track this story, and should any concrete evidence or a new statement emerge, you will be the first to know. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us. We hope this analysis has given you a new lens through which to view the news. This has been Whatever You Need. Please, before you go, click that subscribe button, leave a like to support our writers, and consider joining our membership program for behind-the-scenes access. Your support is the foundation of everything we do. Until the next mystery unfolds, stay curious and stay kind. Goodbye.